Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Truly Bedrock Season 1. It is episode 39 today, and we're starting off over here in Zloy's little miniature nether hub. As you can see, this place is very well staffed. The front desk has like 5 or 6 people working it. These guys are great. Very well staffed facility he's got going on over there. But anyway, what we're going to be trying to do today is 2 main things. I have 2 goals set out for this episode. The first one is getting the quad stacked raid farm completely done and finished and good to go and fully functional. And then the next one is to get like 64 beacons, a full stack of beacons, which I think should be fairly doable. We have all the resources and all the means to accomplish these 2 goals. As long as we don't run into any major issues, then like we should be fine. I hope. So let's kind of get to it. So you might be thinking we should do the stack of beacons first, and I would totally agree with you. That one we can do just pretty easily and straightforward. However, there are only 2 people online right now, me and Blue Jay, so the lag isn't actually that bad. As you can see, everything's pretty much working as it should. It's kind of a miracle. So we're gonna go ahead and actually finish up the quad stacking raid farm first. Villagers and their linking is very, it gets very broken with the lag. So basically we need to move all of these bells downwards, and we need to make sure they link to the correct sets of villagers too. So I think I need to go down by a block. Can I get a block? Place that like right there, and then if we place that bell, we should see these guys in here. Yes, these guys got their green particles. Excellent, so everything is working. That bell got its green particles too. Wonderful. So I need to move down these other 3 bells. So it might not look like much has changed, and it's kind of hard to show what has changed, but I did go ahead and clean up the entire platforms up there, refined everything, and made sure that everything is completely covered in leaves or is made of scaffolding. Raids can spawn on like literally anything in the entire game. You name it, a raid can spawn on it. So you really got to be very, very careful, and that's why this entire thing is made out of leaves and also the scaffolding. Now there's just a whole bunch of blocks down here at the bottom that we need to get, and of course just gotta pick these up so that we don't have them despawn. Alright, I think it's finally time to turn on the raid farm. This thing has been disabled for a couple of weeks now. I haven't used it at all, and we should pretty much get Bad Omen as soon as we actually turn this on. I believe, as you can see, there are several pillagers in there. So what I want to do is I want to fly up to the top as quick as possible. That way, as soon as we get some Bad Omen, we should start a raid up here. Now, if everything goes bad immediately, that's going to, of course, be terrible. And I'm really hoping that none of the raids spawn like anywhere on that mansion or down by our trading hall or anything down there. We want all of the raids to spawn on that big upper platform up there. There we go. Okay, that's promising. That activated a raid in our 2nd, or I guess 4th village, depending on how you count it. But yeah, we got a raid started in this village. So now if we stand right here, the next time that we get Bad Omen, we should get another set of raids going. So basically each one of these 4 spaces right here is in a different village, and every time you get Bad Omen, you can start a raid in that village. And we just got these pistons to push us around. But yeah, it actually looks like everything is working just fine. Of course, this is an extremely noisy build, but if we go ahead and hold our looting 3 sword, we'll actually have that effect applied to these raids. And for some reason, you are kind of jumping around like a madman. That's fine, that's no big deal. Cool beans. So yeah, I just need to kind of stand here for a while. Hopefully we can get like 3 more batches of Bad Omen, get this thing running at full capacity, and I'm actually extremely excited for this. This is an amazing farm. If you want to try and build this in your worlds, I'll have a link to the tutorial basically everywhere. Oh, there we go. Oh, that one Bad Omen started raids in 2 different villages. Nice. So now we're gonna have 3 going. But yeah, the quad stacked raid farm, it's insane. And there we go, we got our final batch of Bad Omen. So now we have 4 raids going at one time in this farm. And this is kind of crazy. I haven't experienced this really in survival mode, of course, first time building this. There goes another set of Bad Omen. So yeah, you don't really waste a Bad Omen with this design unless there's already like 4 raids going. And I guess I'm just gonna keep my eye out for issues and problems. Oh, like that issue and that problem. Okay, mild problem, why are there 3 Ravengers? This has literally never happened. I did so much testing for this farm. You guys are not allowed to glitch out of here. Oh my god, okay. We need to get some more leaves over here. Those need to go right there, right above those pistons. Those guys actually did glitch out. All right, strange. Very strange indeed. And now I can actually hear myself again. Oh, this is nice. So I guess I need to figure out some way to kind of reinforce this front side. I don't think we can really put like solid blocks right here in these two locations because raids should be able to spawn on the top of the piston as it's like extended. So I guess I'm just gonna try what I can. This thing is so loud. There's so many horn noises. Anyway, put some temporary blocks there. Hopefully we don't have any more glitch outs. Man, this is so noisy. Okay, there's another glitch out. Okay, mild issues indeed. Ah. All right, so we learned some vital things about this quad stacked beacon factory. First of all, it does work. All 4 of our 4 villages are of course lined up perfectly. We can start a raid in each and every single one of them just fine. No actual issues, which is pretty amazing. Although we are having a couple small issues with the actual Ravengers glitching out. Those guys are seriously very buggy. If you look at their actual hitbox, their hitbox is just like the worst thing in the world. So I'm hoping that once they fix that issue, if they fix it, there won't be as many glitch out issues in general with raid farms. So yeah, that being said, I did put a couple of solid blocks in these locations here and right above that piston, and hopefully that doesn't, you know, mess up with anything. Hopefully no raids spawn on top of the pistons as they're extended. And again, when it comes to raid farms, you don't want to like fully AFK them, like, you know, just go AFK overnight, kind of leave your computer. Like you can stand there just fine, but you kind of want to keep like a half eye on this, like just kind of somewhat keep an eye on your screen because raids are kind of insane. All right, so the raid farm is actually fully functional as of now. There's a few things that we can do to improve it, of course, but mostly I'm just very curious how many emeralds we actually got from those 4 different raids. And ooh, that is actually pretty decent. I wasn't holding the looting 3 sword the entire time, so these aren't like the full rates of the farm, because of course we had a few, you know, mild setbacks, but that's still really, really awesome from just a couple minutes of using the farm. So real quick thing I want to mention is the storage system for the raid farm. I've gotten a lot of comments of people asking how I've made this, and literally it's just like 10 item sorters. You got 1 item sorter for each of these different types of items, and then I got some item sorters on the other side as well. Hello, Mr. Stray. I saw a bunch of your friends at my beacon factory. But yeah, we got 5 item sorters on this side as well for those items, and then literally everything over here is completely unsorted. None of this gets actually filtered by the farm. It literally goes in there all at one time, and then you have to manually sort it because they're non-stackable items. So the only real improvement I can think of to the raid farm at the moment would be a way to turn on the lower trident killer from this very top platform. Now there's a whole bunch of ways to do that, like giant redstone lines or piston lines, or maybe like some water and stuff and things. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of different ways. But I want to try and do some wireless redstone. It's actually going to be fairly straightforward to do, of course, and we have all the materials that we need for it right in this box. Now, the reason why I want to, you know, be able to turn on the lower trident killer while we're up here at the top of the farm is that way we can just turn it on, we'll get the bad omen from the pillager captains from the outpost, and then we'll already be up here at the farm getting rid of the bad omens, starting more raids. When we want to turn off the farm, we can activate our wireless redstone, turn off our trident killers, and then we don't need to like run back up and down the scaffolding. So right now we're in the actual outpost by the trident killer. This is the thing that actually gives us the bad omen effect, of course, and that allows us to start all the raids. And we're actually working on a little bit of the redstone. We're getting extremely lucky with the amount of room that we have in this building right here. We have literally just enough room to install a T flip-flop, and now we can actually go ahead and place in the 2 hoppers for our T flip-flop. The T flip-flops on Bedrock Edition are absolutely massive, so that's going to be the output right about there. But anyway, we're using something that you might not know about, and that is the ability to actually read items in a chest using an observer. So right now we have an observer just facing that double chest. We need to throw an item into that T flip-flop. Anytime we take an item out of that chest, that's going to activate our system and, you know, kind of alternate our output. So right now it's off. If we throw something in there, it's going to turn on, and then it'll turn off the next time. And this is going to be the easiest way to actually control our T flip-flop, if I could actually throw an item into that hopper, which is apparently impossible to do. But yeah, so we have basically like 3,000 activations of this farm just like kind of sitting here in that double chest, which is really convenient. We're going to run this output directly into the actual trident killers. That shouldn't be too big of a deal. Put a couple pieces of redstone dust right there, block right there, and then we can remove that. And then I just gotta get up and over. So now, if we throw in an item, that is going to turn on the trident killers. Absolutely perfect. And now the farm is pretty much, you know, able to be wirelessly activated. And if we go up to the very top of the farm, you'll see that all we need up here is a dropper full of a bunch of items. These are completely useless items that we get so much of from this farm. But we can press that button and that'll drop one down all the way into that hopper right there. You can kind of see the torch on top of it. And then that should activate our farm. So let's drop down here real quick. And yes, you can hear that the trident killers are now on, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, so if we go up here again and then throw one more item down that hole, and then we can follow that down and see what happens. You'll see that those pistons stop firing. So yeah, that's a fully functional system, very easy to install. A little bit of an eyesore out the side of the outpost, but honestly, this thing looks kind of horrendous already anyway, so do I even care? So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of an AFK session here at the raid farm, and maybe just do it for like 10-15 minutes, I don't know. But from that, we'll see just how many emeralds we get, of course, and I keep forgetting that you can't really move around when you're up here. You gotta stand exactly where you gotta stand. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in like literally 1 second your time. Alright, so about 15 minutes later now, and that actually went super smoothly, no issues at all. I am very curious how many emeralds we actually have from that, and oh my, that is pretty decent, isn't it? Very nice. So now we have nearly 2 stacks of emerald blocks from like maybe 20 minutes of AFK, while still having a few small issues to work out with the farm. Yeah, that is really, really good. So I need to do like many hours of AFK at the farm, and then I'll actually be able to supply the server with emeralds. Of course, having quad the raid farm, we now have 4 times the loot to actually sort through as well, which is a little bit ridiculous. This farm was already kind of painful before to sort through, but now we just have many double chests of just completely random junk. They really need to implement a way to at least mildly sort non-stackable items from one another. Like just a way to, like, you know, dispense saddles onto like a pig or something, or dispense iron armor in a better way, or just like literally anything, because this is extremely painful. Alright, so I'm going to consider the raid farm done for today's episode. I think it turned out pretty well, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed that little project. We'll be back over there in a couple of episodes. Of course, we have so much stuff to do, but for the time being, I'm gonna go ahead and actually grab ourselves a couple stacks of these wither skeleton skulls, because I want to get myself 1 full stack of beacons. I'm actually gonna grab a little bit extra soul sand and a couple extra skulls, just in case. And also, where did this come from? What even? Human feces? What? Okay, first of all, I'm not a human, so this clearly did not come from me or anyone in my village, but that's gross. Throw that on the plants, they'll like it. Why is that just like sitting around the village? When did I even pick that up? That's gross. God, people on the server, you can't trust them. Anyway, this is a totally random thing to have happen. So here we are yet again underneath the main end island at our custom wither killer. We were just here last episode, however, I have actually done a few small upgrades and improvements to it. Might not look like it, but now we actually have, like, you know, a giant in-stone box around this place. And man, there's like nowhere to look without looking at an Enderman. But anyway, the idea around this box is that we have a cobblestone on the very outside edges of it, as you can kind of see. So whenever I see a piece of cobblestone, I know that this like security box around the wither killer is getting rather thin and needs repairs. And then I just get some in-stone from the outer end city islands, and then just kind of repair this area. Without this actual box here, this literally goes like straight down into the void, which is not a fun thing, not very good for my confidence levels when fighting withers, you know, just straight over the void, you know, just casual, why not? So yeah, we built up this entire box around this thing on stream, and now it's just a matter of keeping this thing maintained while not looking at the stupid Enderman. So as you guys know, the Wither Killer is still a pretty slow process, of course, but I do think that we can fight up to 2 withers at a time in this thing. I've tried fighting 3, and there's always issues with that, but if we go ahead and summon in one of these guys, yep, he's in there just fine. Quickly place down the rest of these things, and then just quickly run up here and hide. Oh god, Proud just joined. No, the lag is gonna be insane. These guys are probably gonna escape. But yeah, as you can see, those 2 withers are now trapped down there successfully. Doesn't seem like the lag is too bad. Don't blame Prowl this time. But you can see that they're kind of blowing up a few blocks. That is absolutely fine. That is totally intended. It's totally fine for them to blow up as many blocks as they want, but as soon as I see cobblestone down there, then I know I need to make repairs, because past that cobblestone is pure void and pure death and pure just scariness. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fight a whole bunch of these withers. It has taken many episodes and many hours of work and many days and many long nights of work to actually get to this point in the series where we have all the wither skulls, and we have all the custom wither killers set up, the beacon factory done, but it's all coming to fruition, and it's really nice. And there goes our first 2 withers. As you can see, they are rather dramatic when they actually have their death sequence, but there goes the first one and the second one, and now we got ourselves our very first 2 wither skulls from this thing. Oh wow, these guys blew up a lot. I'm glad I got that cobblestone over there, because otherwise I would have no idea that the damage was that bad. Not quite sure what's up with that, but okay, that is totally fine. Are those actually there? Maybe they're not there. More bedrock bugs. I think they look kind of cool though, look at that. I don't think the withers like me that much. I mean, come on, I just try to build them a nice house and they go ahead and completely ruin it. So we're about 10 wither fights in now, and I have myself, of course, the 10 nether stars, and I've kind of given up on that wall. Repairing this entire thing every time in between fights, it takes an extremely long time and is definitely not really worth it. So I've mostly been focusing on like repairing the floor with what little blocks I still have left over. I also did go ahead and kind of reinforce the actual wither killer itself, put like 10 more pieces of bedrock on there. So now we can actually do double wither fights or double wither like kills pretty easily, and we don't really need to worry about, wither skulls are flying absolutely everywhere. It's a little bit more reliable now too. Pick up that box and go to the safe area. So yeah, this is just gonna take a very long time. It's definitely a slow process. So that's a little bit strange. Those 2 withers didn't actually break a single block in here. They didn't even break this one. That is very strange. I've literally never seen that before, but it would have been nice had that happened like the last 20 fights, or the last 10 fights, or the last hour of doing this, jeez. This game is so weird sometimes. You can never truly predict what it's actually going to do. So unless mob griefing somehow magically got turned off, which is not the case since I'm like the only person online and they do not trust me with admin powers, which is probably for the best. This particular wither cage right here actually contains every single skull and all of the explosions, which is like a marvel of technology. I fought 4 withers in here now and not a single block has been broken, which is like, again, like an hour too late. Anyway, I want to try and fit 3 withers in here right now, so I want you to bear witness to this. Bear witherness to this. Anyway, you gotta be fairly quick if you want to do this properly. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. Also, a thing about them not blowing up any blocks, it means that all of the wither skeletons are also surviving too, which means that you get actually a little bit of a return on investment, because you get to kill the wither skeletons, so you might actually get a skull out of it. And yeah, it looks like all 3 of those withers are fighting and dying just fine and not blowing up a single block. This is actually amazing. How have I not designed this before? I randomly stumble upon like the best wither killer in survival, yet I've done like hundreds of these wither killer tests in creative mode. We got some spooky, scary skeletons and they're sending shivers down my spine. There's so many chances for wither skeleton skulls, and there's also 3 nether stars in there. I need to learn how to like sing spookier songs. That was not nearly spooky enough. And now we're really testing the limits of just how lucky we can get in one night. Like, for real, this is kind of pushing things. But that's about as fast as I can place withers as well. You want to place down all of the statues to summon the wither before the first one explodes, and I don't think I've ever been able to place more than 4. But in theory, you can get as many withers in there as possible. You just have to be, you know, prepared for the consequences if any of them do decide to actually escape and then, you know, wreck the entire main end island. Oh my, I was able to summon 5. I wasn't aware that I summoned 5, but now they're shooting skulls everywhere again. I think I'm gonna hide behind my little platform again. I've been kind of standing out here in the open since it's been so safe, but yeah, I do not trust this. I think I'm getting to the limits of what a wither killer can handle. So I might have kind of figured it out. Originally, I thought there was one of those like glitched out wither skulls in there. Maybe that was somehow magically preventing them doing damage. But I think if they had all damaged the player, even on like their starting explosion, then they'll be able to shoot out the skulls. So the last time when we summoned 5 in there, I was a little bit slow. I got kind of hit by one of their explosions, and then they were able to do damage. But these guys have not done damage to me ever, and they're never going to do damage to the surroundings either, which is a little bit strange, and I find that kind of fascinating. Well, I think I was wrong about the whole damaging thing. They appear to just kind of do damage to the surroundings randomly. Not entirely sure what's up with that. But in other news, I have completely failed at my mission of getting 64 nether stars. We had some incidents and some counting errors, and like we didn't get 64. We got 66 instead. So now we just have so many nether stars. This has taken an extremely long time, but I was able to get, you know, a fair few bones, a little bit of coal from everything, and overall, it was a kind of a fun experience, albeit very, very grindy. So many hours later, we finally have all of the nether stars, and this is the most nether stars I've ever had in survival mode. Again, this has taken, you know, many episodes of preparation and planning to get to this stage, and I regret none of it. It's been a really fun experience getting all of these very, very shiny things. I love how shiny they are. Ah, it's so good. I think I'm gonna set aside like maybe one of those for a memento that we can put over in the house, because you know what? Now the stars, they're cool, and now we have like a lot of them. It just looks like modded. Like, you don't see these amounts of nether stars in survival. I want to savor this moment. It's super cool. But anyway, we need to go ahead and craft these things into actual beacons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stacks of glass, and then the obsidian as well. And are we actually going to have enough obsidian for this? Oh, we might be doing just fine. Oh, look at that. Exactly 3 stacks. That is perfect. Nice. Anyway, let's go ahead and craft these things up. 64 beacons. This is crazy. 64 beacons. Ridiculous. What even is this? It's great. I kind of want to craft these one at a time just to like savor it more, but we're not going to do that. 64 beacons. That is crazy. What are we going to do with all these things? I have no idea. Leave some suggestions for what we should do with these beacons in the comment section down below, because building a staircase in your house probably isn't the best use for these guys. So not only do we have a full stack of beacons right now, we also have the materials to make another 3 and nearly 4 stacks as well, with all of these wither skeleton skulls and all of the soul sand that we have as well. We are very, very prepared for all of the things. We also have like another 9 stars over there. We got a couple more beacons just kind of like laying around the place as well. We are extremely rich, and we are nearly ready to start using beacons as the actual currency on the Truly Bedrock realm. Of course, we're not actually going to use it as currency, but still, it's fun to think about it. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 new mementos on the wall over here. I need to get some actual item frames for that, But we got our first stack of stars, episode 39, of course. I'll put that up here. And then we also have first diamond. If you want to know how I got this and what shenanigans are behind it, you'll have to check out Liara's episode that just released today as well. That'll be on the end screens right about now, because that's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Of course, be sure to leave a like on the video, as it does help out the video and the channel significantly. If you're new here and you want to see more of these in the future, be sure to subscribe, of course, but definitely check out Liara's video for those shenanigans, and I'll see you all down in the comment section and in the next one. Thanks again for watching, and then there was silence.